Hello, my name is Aaron and welcome to another video. Today we're talking about setting up your Sony a5100 for the first time. So you've bought the Sony a5100. Congratulations, you have just bought an excellent, versatile mirrorless camera, great for photography and video. In this video we're going to go through the best settings when setting up the Sony a5100 for the first time. But before we get started, please consider subscribing to the channel and dropping a like on the video. On the channel I've got loads of videos for tips and tricks for the Sony a5100. So the very first thing I would do when setting up this camera, especially if you've bought it second hand, is do a full factory reset of settings. You don't know what other settings have been left on there previously, or if you've messed around with the camera a little bit straight out of the box and you're not sure what you've pressed, doing a factory reset is just to make sure that the camera is exactly how you would have got it straight out of the box. So bear in mind, this will wipe any settings you've already got, so if there's some you're already happy with and you know what you're doing, you can skip this step, but for me it's just good to start with a clean slate. So to do this, you go to Setup on the main menu, and then tab 5, Settings Reset, and Camera Settings Reset. So the next step is crucial, and that is to make sure that you have the latest firmware installed. Again, if you've bought the camera second hand, or maybe even out of the box, it may not actually have the latest firmware installed. So the latest version is version 3.10. To check this, you go to the Setup menu, tab 5, and then Version. If you're already on version 3.10, you're good to go. You don't need to do anything. If you're not, this is how you update your firmware. First, you need to connect your camera to your computer using the USB cable provided, and then download the latest version of the firmware from the Sony website. I'll put links to this in the description. The installation process is pretty simple. You could just follow along the steps on the screen. The file you need to download for the firmware update is around 200 megabytes, and once that is downloaded, the installation process takes around 15 minutes. Installing the latest firmware is important because it improves the performance of the camera, it improves compatibility with newer lenses, also means you have extra video recording formats, as well as other performance improvements. Another useful thing to do when setting up your Sony a5100 is to connect it to your smartphone. You can do this wirelessly, and it's really useful if you're out and about and you don't have access to your computer or where you would normally edit your photos, is that you can transfer your photos directly from your camera to your phone and then edit them or upload them on your mobile device. First of all, you'll need to download the Imaging Edge mobile app from your App Store. This is the official Sony app for this purpose. Then on the app you need to select Connect with a new camera. It will come up with an option to scan a QR code. The Sony a5100 in my experience doesn't have that option, so I would use the option Connect using camera SSID/password. So once you've got the app sorted on your camera, you need to do this at the same time. From the main menu, choose Wireless, Send to Smartphone. This will take a second to load, and then this will present to you the SSID and the password that you can input on your phone so that you can connect the two up. Once you've inputted the password, you should only need to do this once, and then the camera should always remember the phone and the phone should always remember the camera so that you can transfer photos whenever you like. As I said, very useful if you're out and about. It's great if you just want to ping something over to your smartphone so that you can post it on Instagram or other photo sharing websites. So the next thing to do while setting up your Sony a5100 is your memory card and your video settings. So your camera probably won't have come with a memory card, and this means you won't be able to store any photos or videos on the camera as there is no internal storage. So when you purchase one, you need to look out for this one thing so that you can record in the highest quality video format on the Sony a5100. So you need to make sure that you buy an SDXC memory card. An SDXC memory card basically means you can transfer data from the camera to the memory card a bit quicker so that you can have the higher quality video format. So just look out for that little SDXC logo when you are buying your memory card. As I said, this allows for higher quality video format. It also means that your camera will take less time to process videos and photos when saving them to the card. So then you need to make sure you are using the highest quality video format. That format is XAVCS. If you're using the wrong type of memory card, you'll see that the option is greyed out here. The other video formats are okay, but if you want the absolute highest quality, you'll need an SDXC card. To change your video quality settings, you need to go to Camera Settings, tab 2, File Format, and there you can see XAVCS. So another thing I think is worth setting is your photo quality settings. If you're using a high capacity memory card, a lot of the SDXC ones are, like 128 or 256 gigabytes, I would recommend using the highest possible quality photo format. So that is setting it to shoot in both RAW and JPEG. This effectively stores 2 copies of each image that you take. The RAW image format basically does very little compression to the image and also very minimal processing to your image file, so it is the highest quality representation of the image that you have taken. As there is very little compression, the file size is very large, which is why you need the higher capacity card, and the file extension on your computer will come up as .arw. These files can't be opened in normal image viewers, but can be opened in things like Adobe Lightroom and raw image converting software. I use this plus the JPEG image format so that I have that quick editable version, which is a bit smaller, great for mobile, great for places like Instagram where the resolution is going to be dropped down so much anyway, so that you have 2 versions. You've got the large full version of the image as well as the JPEG for quick editing. To change the setting, you go to the main menu, Camera Settings, Tab 1, and then Quality. You'll see a few other options alongside RAW and JPEG. This is what you want to choose if you want the absolute highest quality versions of your images. So this isn't applicable to all users, but if you're mainly using this for photography, this is a good setting to use. So there we have it. That's just some quick tips and tricks for when setting up your Sony a5100. You can check out this playlist here of other Sony a5100 tips and tricks. This goes into more depth the other settings on the menus of the Sony a5100. You might learn some other useful things that this camera can achieve. Are there any other things that you've done when setting up your camera that I've missed? Let me know in the comments below. But also check out the links in the description for where to download the firmware, also a link to my Instagram page, and also the Sony a5100 subreddit that I have set up. There you can post your favourite videos or any questions that you've got about the Sony a5100. But as always, if you've enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel and dropping a like on the video. But until next time, see ya.